tell I'm in between takes if I'm taking a little sip of coffee there. What's going on, guys? T Blake here. If you're just tuning in, we are doing some of my favorite things from the past year, 2024. We've done sneakers, we've done a designer luxury good passport holder, one of my favorite pickups from this past year. And now we're gonna get into something a little different that I guess I haven't done a review on, but for folks that have been like following me on, folks, dude, I clearly work in a tech company. For people that have been following me for a long time, you know I have an affinity for whiskeys and scotches and bourbons. One of my favorite memories and my like influencer arc was I got to do a thing called 72 Hours of Man. They took us out to like Whistler, Canada and Vancouver. And part of that experience was sitting down with the master whiskey maker for the Macallan and going through a testing back then. So this would have been like 2014. I don't have a video from that because, to be honest, everyone on that trip by that point was so overtired, and then we were just like, you know, overwhelmingly tipsy from that like tasting, you know, 30 different Macallans straight. So probably for the best content doesn't exist from that. From that trip, right, it kind of started my affinity for the Macallan. Luckily back then, I started buying bottles. Right now the Macallan's like one pretty crazily marked up. Obviously the pandemic swung a lot of these prices, and they were like luxury good things, both because of like PPP loans, perceived limited availability, all these things just pumping up a market. But like case in point, I have a bottle of the Macallan edition #1. It was like $110. I could walk into a store and get it. It's like a $2,000 to $3,000 bottle now. I have a bottle of the Macallan 25. I paid like $900 of it for my 25th birthday, which was 6 years ago. That's now like a $2,500, $3,000 bottle of the Macallan. So my purpose of saying that is not to say that it's a flex, but it's to say like, oh my God, like, one, I'm a little sad because there's things I've really enjoyed and loved where it's like, there's just no way I'm gonna spend that money. Because at the end of the day, just like sneakers, it's like the sneakers have a retail price and it's fun to enjoy them for the retail price. But then when you pay resale, it's like, ugh. So all that to say, I have 3 different pickups from this particular year that I love. They're a range of price points. They're pretty accessible. I'm gonna speak to them. You'll notice that 2 are sealed. It's because I finished 2 of the other bottles waiting to open these up again. So like, if you're like, how could he even speak to these if he hasn't opened them? That's why. But yeah, let's get started. Okay, so first up, this is from High West. Earlier this year, I was able to do in New York City, there's a fantastic test kitchen that's partnered with James Beard. They do rotating menus. One of the events was with the chef, the executive chef that works in a restaurant group, and part of the restaurant group owns High West Distillery. They're out in Utah. They make excellent stuff. It's called a Midwinter's Nights Dram. This is a limited engagement, their way of saying limited edition. It was limit 1 at the store. But why do I love it? To me, it's just a lot of like holiday flavors. So like caramel, you get like, you know, some cinnamon for me, just like a really warm finish. And like I said, if you're looking to try something in their range, I haven't had anything that's bad from them. And, you know, I wouldn't say they're up and coming. I think they're pretty well established, but something to keep an eye on if you want to try something interesting. So, all right. And from there into something like a little bit more accessible, this is a world whiskey. It's a blend of, I think, from 5 different continents of whiskeys. Like when it comes to blends, like, it's all over the place. Some people like, you know, might look up or down at it. I thought this was a travel exclusive, so I picked it up on my way home from Portugal. It's very much available in the United States. You don't have to go through an international airport. It should be like $50 to $60. Pleasantly surprised with this one. So I actually opened it up because I was planning on like saving it. I bought 2 bottles. Like I'll save it. I'll forget about it for a while. It's a travel exclusive. Maybe I could swap it for something else. Nice, like smooth, surprisingly, not overly peaty. That's something that sometimes happens with like blends, especially. So like, I'm not sure how they balanced it. I also have really no idea what they put in this or like where they sourced it, assuming it's within Suntory's house of brands, but pleasantly surprised, a really good bottle. Something that'll like be really nice if you're just starting out or learning about like tasting, etc. Just to like say like, oh, I had a blend, like what flavor? There's no wrong answers with like how something tastes to you. But overall, really surprised with this one. I think it's at a great price point as well. Cool, so last one, you know, we all know about sneaker resale. Weller is also a brand where, you know, just like sneakers, there's resale. This is like a $40 to $50 bottle at retail. $90 to $100. Most stores will charge over retail. It's just how it works. A special reserve, the green bottle. This was a bottle that I drank almost in its entirety. I guess I shared it on my wedding day before the wedding. I took this out, I buried it. It's supposed to help without rain. It still rained a little bit, but not as much as it was supposed to, so that was good. So obviously I have a really fond memory tied to this bottle in particular, but I also think, one, at retail, it's probably one of the best $50 to $60 bottles of bourbon you could possibly get. I think most of Weller's line is really good. But this one in particular, just like vanilla, caramel, smooth, delicious, like just really, really nice. But yeah, I think this is absolutely great, not just for the memory tied to it, but yeah, pretty much for the memory tied to it. But I will also say it's probably one of the best, again, at retail, probably one of the best bottles you can get. Specifically green, special reserve, look for it, ask for it. It's usually not out, it's usually behind the counter. And most stores that are charging over retail, if they have it, you can haggle them down a little bit. All right, guys, so that's gonna do it. I have had over 1,000 videos made. I think this is the first time I've done or dabbled in a Scotch or bourbon video, so hopefully it was fun sharing with you, some of the stories that got me into it, and also some bottles that I think are really special, especially around this holiday season. So thank you for tuning in. We have another video coming out this week. And again, if you're missing any of these or watching them in the future, check out that playlist, which will be down in the description. T Blake signing out. Peace, guys.